So we recently took a trip up to Jasper National Park. It's a national park in Canada. So our first stop is this place called Hector Lake. It's named after this guy. So here's the part where I'd show you footage of Hector Lake, but I don't have any. So here's a photo off Google. Next, we went to Bow Lake. It's another blue lake. So, fun fact, Bow Lake actually feeds the Bow River, and that is the river that we have here in Calgary. So, next, we went to this place called Mistaya Canyon. Misataya Canyon.
Mistaya Canyon.
So, it's like a pretty short hike to get to the canyon. It's about 10 minutes. When you get there, it's just a nice waterfall or canyon. And the sound of water is very, very loud. So here's me sitting at the edge of the canyon. Pretty cool. So we keep driving up to Jasper. See some pretty cool sights like this waterfall off the side of the highway. Passing through the Athabasca Glacier now. It's a glacier, I guess. So, fun fact, the Icefields Parkway is actually home to over 100 glaciers. And we just passed by the Columbia Ice Field, which is home to one of the biggest ones, the Athabasca Glacier. So we're driving into Jasper now. Basically, we had a reservation last year for Jasper, roughly during the same time. However, Jasper did get affected by a wildfire. So the footage you're seeing right now is post wildfire Jasper, and you can see that there is a big difference. The campsite we chose is Whistler's Campground, which, if you're camping here, expect to have no privacy. So they say the Icefields Parkway is one of the most scenic drives in all of Canada, and I do agree. It is probably the most scenic drive I know of in Alberta, and for that, it goes into S tier. So this is the campground that we decided to camp in. As you can see, it's pretty nice. It's probably one of the only loops inside of Whistler's Campground that has sufficient tree cover. So Whistler's Campground is pretty big. It has over 700 sites, as well as the washroom facilities in Whistler's Campground is some of the nicest that I've ever been to in any Parks Canada site. So we got to our campsite around 3 or 4 p.m. here. First order of business is to make a fire and start eating because we're pretty hungry.
Want to say hi?
So I can't lie, anything tastes good when you're in the outdoors. We had some scallion oil noodles with steak. But for these scallion oil noodles, we forgot the soy sauce. Bruh. So that was a bummer. So our night basically just consisted of chilling by the campfire, staying warm. It was kind of cold. It was like 14 degrees at the campsite during that day because it was supposed to rain, and I think it just finished raining a bit. We actually got really lucky with the weather. It was supposed to rain a lot more. I believe the forecast predicted 5 to 10 millimeters, but honestly, we didn't get much rain at the campsite during that night. So day 2 begins with the birds waking us up at like 6 a.m. And like these birds were loud. They were going at it like right beside the tent. But we don't let that stop us from having a good time. So we get breakfast going. We are eating some spam, some sausage, some hash browns, and some eggs as well. Yeah, but honestly, this is one of the best camping meals out there. It's delicious, it's tasty, it's really quick to do. You can do everything in one pot as well too. So that makes it really convenient for cleaning up as well. Okay, just doing some cleanup here, packing everything back in the car, and then going to the dishwashing station to empty out the dishes and then wash them, dry them off. It's a pretty nice day out today, Saturday. I don't think it rained at all. So yeah, it was really nice. Gonna throw the garbage away. So once everything's done at camp, we head out. We drive to this place called Pyramid Lake. Pyramid Lake is just a pretty nice lake in the Jasper area. There's also an island on it that we want to check out too. That's one of the main reasons we want to go to the lake. So the footage you were seeing earlier is from the Pyramid Lake beach. So we drive past near the boat rental station because they have a few docks slash piers that we want to sit on, and it's actually really nice. We got to see some loons, just sit around and relax. Today was a really nice day, so it was just nice to relax and soak in the sun. So now we're going to Pyramid Island. Pyramid Island is actually one of the reasons I wanted to come to Pyramid Lake in the first place. I've seen this in photos and it does look really nice. And it was like kind of busy, but other than that, it was okay. There's quite a bit of people in the Pyramid Lake area. So that's one thing I guess you got to watch out for. So, yeah, a few comments about Pyramid Island. One, I think it's one of the most scenic places I've ever been to in Jasper. Pyramid Island and the bridge leading up to Pyramid Island, and even just Pyramid Lake itself, while easily accessible, offers some stunning sights and views. So definitely come here if you are in Jasper National Park. Other than that, basically, we just spend the majority of the time relaxing and just walking around the island, sitting down at various places. There's quite a bit of benches and chairs to sit on, as well as some old logs. And you can even like go to some of the edges of the island and just sit on the rocks there and just watch the water. It's actually a really relaxing activity. I think we stayed here for like almost 2 hours while being a short hike, only less than, I believe, 1 kilometer long around the island. We stayed there for about 2 hours just soaking in all the views. The weather was really good that day too, so that was really awesome for us. So I don't know. Whenever I go camping, I usually eat a very, very big breakfast, and I usually don't get hungry throughout the day. So we decided to skip lunch that day. We head into Jasper Town to check out the gift shop, as well as to pick up some marshmallows to roast over the campfire later, as well as we got ourselves a beaver tail. So we're back at the campsite here, getting a fire started, getting some wood chopped up so we can start roasting the marshmallows that we bought from the store earlier. And yeah, it's looking sunny out, no rain whatsoever. Really pleased with how the weather turned out on this trip, honestly. The forecast was really shitty when even like a few days before we left Calgary. So I'm really glad with how this trip turned out. So we get dinner started around 6 p.m. or so, just to get an early start on dinner, get all the dishes cleaned earlier and stuff before everyone else. I took a shower earlier, and honestly, the shower at Whistler's Campground is probably the nicest Parks Canada shower I've ever been to. They have like individual stalls for each shower, so that's really cool. And yeah, also shout out Ryan's Meat in Calgary. And honestly, sunset in the mountains is one of my favorite sunsets of any place on Earth. Just the alpenglow on the mountains, as well as, hey, look, we can see Mount Edith Cavell poking out in the distance. Such a beautiful mountain. But yeah, honestly, sunset here is so wonderful. The fact that there's no mosquitoes whatsoever, like, I don't think I got bit on this trip. And I even bought a thermosol and a lot of bug spray specifically for this trip. However, I didn't even get to use it once. So that's great. The rest of the night was getting kind of chilly. Put on my jacket and just enjoyed the night by the fire. That's pretty much it for day two. So for breakfast, we're just eating whatever is left in our cooler for day three. We had some UFO instant yakisoba. That's always good. And if you never had UFO before, let me put you on. UFO is the most goaded form of instant noodle, in my opinion. I first had it when I went to Japan for a trip, and it is so good. It's also super convenient and easy. There's really no cleanup involved because it has a really unique system of you dump the water in, and then there's channels slash holes on the other side. You peel that off, and you can dump the water out. Put the sauce in the yakisoba, and it is so delicious. Oh my goodness. So that's it. We got to leave Whistler's Campground. It was a good time. It's sad to say goodbye as always when you visit such nice places, but you got to go back to work and stuff. Got to pay the bills. Other than that, the drive back on the Icefields Parkway, I think, is more scenic than the drive going to. We stopped by Tangle Creek, and of course, I got to take a cold plunge. It's always fun. And yeah, the Icefields Parkway is truly a beautiful drive. You get to see some waterfalls, some animals on the side of the road, and my personal favorite are all the glaciers that you get to see. And you better see them soon because I'm pretty sure in like the next 50 to 100 years that all the glaciers would melt or something because of global warming, something like that. So we stop on the side of the road here to check out this glacier. At that point, we didn't know what it was called, but apparently this is called the Studfield Glacier, so that's pretty cool. Then we drive on down further. We drive to the Athabasca Glacier with Mount Athabasca and Mount Andromeda in the background here, and that's neat. So coming up to the Athabasca Glacier, there's actually a short little hike you can do to the glacier, and you can actually see how far the glacier has receded over the course of 100 years. The hike is not too bad, but I'd suggest bringing a jacket. It gets kind of cold up there. So afterwards, we decided to go to this lake called Pito Lake. It's actually pronounced Pito Lake, not Pato Lake, as some may call it. And honestly, Pito Lake is probably one of the most stunning lakes I've ever seen in the Canadian Rockies. The only downside is that the amount of traffic there and people is quite a bit. And because of that, I unfortunately have to put Pito Lake in A tier just because of how many people there were. I saw more people than I did see the lake itself. And yeah, that pretty much concludes our entire trip to Jasper National Park. I guess like and subscribe